Did it.
Here we
another
go,
another Monday.
kicking it off.
Um, Today I showed the our group chat a picture of the project I worked on all day today, which was putting graphics and whatnot on a custom X3 build for my buddy Matt to take to Sand Sports Show in California. So that is loaded in a trailer, and we'll be heading to Cali in the morning. So that was my whole day today. Was yeah, that was my whole day today. Was printing stickers and putting that on, finishing that up and whatnot. But yesterday went and did buggy stuff
Yeah, I
down with
saw
the
the
Central
picture.
Indiana Crawlers guys. Team driver Josh, I convinced him to go with us. Josh Hibner convinced him to go with us or with me, and he then beat me. So he has been fired. He's no longer team driver Josh. He's just Josh.
Yeah.
So I don't know what his problem was. He thought it'd be a fun idea to beat me by like 3 points. A lot of fun was had though.
Josh just had a little bit more fun.
Yeah, yeah. There was a couple of I had a couple of shoulda coulda wouldas. Shoulda shoulda should have taken a line that I talked about taking and then didn't take. Should have tried a little bit harder on one bonus gate. But nobody completed the bonus gate until after the event. I went back over there and hit it 4 times in a row without issue. And I'm like, why couldn't I do that during my run? Like that would have been cool if I could have just driven that. Like whatever. That one gate would have won me the whole event. One rollover, one of anything basically, and I would have shoulda, woulda, coulda. But anyway, it was still a blast. The courses
Um,
were much more difficult this time than they were last time.
so where is this competition at?
Lebanon, Indiana, Abner
Oh, okay.
Longley Park.
Wait, was that where the NWI TTC was?
No, no, this park got built in 2021 or
Oh,
2022, so it's reasonably new. Um, I think that comp that you're thinking of was down in like Avon, Indiana, or something.
I think one was definitely in, I believe, Lebanon. It was in Illinois, one for sure.
Lebanon's not Illinois.
Oh, it's almost like it was 10 years ago or something. I don't know, dude.
It was long. Yeah, it was 10 years ago. So, um, no, super cool. I was asking Rob, the guy who hosts the comps, if that was his doing, like who got a hold of the parks department to be able to get permission to build this, and who built it, and where'd all the rock come from, and but basically it was a guy and his son that were into crawling that knew the right person to talk to. They got permission to do it, and then the kid decided he was done with crawlers, and the dad was just like, well, I'm not going to do all this by myself. So then a couple other people took over and made it all happen.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody in the chat? Greetings, Beardy and Stash. Yeah, yeah. What'd you do over the weekend? Anything fun?
Um, nah, man, just kind of did the Austin thing. I think I went to a pretty local, like, natural spring pool, hung out with some friends. And I went riding on Sunday. And, my weekends are mainly kind of catching up on stuff to do around here. So I got a couple orders out and, just the typical cleaning. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Getting the
Nice.
dog out, just adult stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, honeydew list doesn't get any shorter for me either. So,
It's
uh,
you complete one thing, and then that thing just goes to the bottom of next week's list, and then you work your way back up to that
yeah,
thing.
exactly, exactly.
The repetitive conveyor belt of tasks.
Yeah. No, it's not Rob Gunning. Different Rob, but Rob is a good dude though. Rob actually posted a couple weeks ago that his sarcoidosis is getting worse. Actually, I think that's what it's called. His lung issue. They found more like they found more growth or change or something. Whatever it was, it didn't sound good. So he's kind of bummed about that. But
Yeah.
the only RC I've got to do is braze a 24 scale trailer frame. That should take like a minute and a half. They're tiny.
124 trailer frame.
24 scale trailer.
Hey.
Uh, yeah. So after today being busy with that side by side project, my day tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be even more busy because I wasn't planning on that thing taking me all day today. I was planning on it being a morning project, and it ended up leaving at like 5:30. So the heck is that?
Those the natives,
Oh,
and then Baird decides now's a good time to play with his toys, right by the tripod and all that good stuff. So that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gonna blast the tripod just to spite you.
Get out of here.
I don't have a whole lot of RC content this week. If I'm honest, I was, like I said, I was busy. I was busy all week last week, and then just going to that buggy comp was the only thing I really did RC related.
Yeah, man. I don't hear too much good reporting from that comp. How was course one? How many courses? Were they
There was
good?
three courses, 5 gates plus 2 bonus gates. So it's 7 gates in 6 minutes. So
Easy.
yeah, so that's one thing that I think I need to do a little bit better job with time management. I could slow way down and make less mistakes because I was finishing courses with like 2.5, 3 minutes left going.
But with a bunch of goof ups.
Yeah, with a bunch of silly mistakes that I could have taken more time. And with 4-wheel steer and dig, you don't do a lot of reversing. You shouldn't be doing a lot of reversing because you can kind of weasel your way out of places where you would normally have to reverse out of at a Sorka comp. But so I think I need to slow down and use the clock to an advantage and make less mistakes.
Yeah.
But courses were good. Courses were definitely harder this time than they were last time. Gates were in similar locations on one course, but it was still a little bit more difficult.
Like
There's a couple of gates.
Butted up.
No, as similar to the last time I was there.
Oh, gotcha.
Gates we went down last time. We went up this time. 2 of them, and ironically, I hit them both going up and down. So I just can't.
Skill.
The first 2 gates of the day, on both times I've been there, I hit the first 2 gates I drove. Like, what the fuck? You gotta get those out of the way, I guess. I hit the first 2 gates.
I said
this off
that
real good.
I said that at Apex, and that was pretty much my ongoing thing the whole rest of the weekend. It wasn't just the first course.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really hoping was really hoping that Josh was going to shit the bed on the last course. I needed a rollover or one more gate. I needed him to.
He's not
Needed
here
him
listening. You can vent out all of your.
No, yeah, no, he's definitely not here at all.
We muted him for the next 50 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. In C1 and C2 comps, do you have a certain approach you take or anything you do specifically at a comp? Hit every gate. I like to just walk the course and see, like at a Sorka comp specifically, like at Nationals, where especially if it's a long course, like the gates are spread out. I like to run when I walk around and look and see if there's a gate that I think is going to be particularly difficult. Like if you don't winch it, if there's a good possibility that you hit the gate. So I already know what gates I'm going to winch at. And there's also times where you look at it, you look at the terrain, and you think about the time in your brain, and you go, dude, there's just no way I'm going to be able to winch this in a timely manner. So then you look at your options to purposely hit a gate to just continue making progress through the course. There are times when hitting a gate is the best option to get through something, but you have to look at that stuff and figure it out ahead of time. You don't really want to do that on during your run, make that decision. Right. And then looking at bonuses too, you look at a bonus and go, is it worth the time required to drive to that gate? And is it easily drivable, or am I going to have to winch? And if I'm going to have to winch, where's the best place to winch for? And have your winch stick guy with you so he knows where you want to winch at, so he can already be ready. So it just kind of it comes with practice. There's not any it's hard to just say this is what you do at a comp. It just everybody's mindset's a little differently, and maybe I'm still wrong because I've never won nationals. So,
and we don't even know what nationals is anymore.
I don't even know what that
nationals
is anymore.
This mythological.
Yeah,
it's like talking about when national events of the great past.
Yeah, back in the 2000s.
Back in my day.
Yeah. Are you coming to the October comps at Abner? Possibly. I think I might throw a Class 1 or a Class 2 together. I don't think I'll do both, but I think I'll probably throw at least one truck together. But I don't know. I don't know which days I'll be available in October. If I go to Scale Hero in Arizona, then I'll be gone for, I don't think Rob has anything planned that weekend, but I know there's another event that Rob and everybody's going to one weekend. So there's 2 weeks in October that there isn't comps, but I don't know what weekends they are. So
I'm just gonna throw this out there, Brett. You have some filter on, because there's no way in hell you are more tan than me.
I don't know. Do you wear SPF 90? This is me, dude. Well, you want to there's no filter.
That's
I'm
not. That's Indiana tanning bed, dude.
No. I'm white. Got my August batch 6x6 done last night, just in time for By the Fire this weekend. Painted the body at 10 p.m. Nice.
Dude, is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Dang.
This coming weekend. Yep. Are you one to get it over with first, or wait and watch many competitors first to watch their mistakes and learn? So I like to watch somebody that I know is a good driver. Standing there watching random people probably doesn't do you any good. But watching a really good driver will teach you a lot of things, especially if you've watched a couple of not as good drivers and then watch a driver who's really good. Watch how they get between gates, from gate to gate, and watch how they approach into a gate can change things. Does that lead to degradation on the course, thus harder? It certainly can. Like at Rocky Mountain, when anytime there's dirt in the course mixed with rocks and stuff, you could always have degradation where something would get harder, but it can also get easier too. But like nationals, there's usually not dirt involved. It's normally pretty much just rock. Especially like Crawlapalooza is all rock. Alabama, nationals and ECC in Alabama, that's all rock. There's no dirt in any of that. So there's really not any.
End of the day, they had snow. So
yeah, nationals we had snow that one time.
Also, know what if you're gonna look at like other people's runs, know their truck too. For example, early on at Apex, I knew right away that my truck wasn't really that competitive. So I told our team driver Jake, I was like, I'll just be the guinea pig, bounce through the course. My truck wasn't worth watching because the truck that Jake had built, more spec'd out for that competition, was way more capable than my scale truck. So, I mean, if someone is watching my truck, they're going to be like, oh my God, this is going to be undoable, which in fact is probably doable if you've kind of read through the rules and built something accordingly. So know
what you're watching. I love when I look over a course and say, I'm going to drive this line, and then totally forget and not drive that line. So that's actually what bit me in the ass this weekend on the last course. There was one gate that I was like, I'm just going to go and I'm going to hit the right gate on purpose. Because there was like dirt on a log with a gate next to it, and then a rock on top of the log, and then the other gate was next to the rock. Well, earlier in the run, you kind of drove up on that rock, and my rear tire hooked it and drug it down, further down the hill, down the log. So as I was coming up to that gate, I looked at it again, and I was like, oh, I drug that rock down. I can probably drive that line now because I can stay on the rock a little longer to get through that gate. Then I ended up hitting both sides of the gate because the truck dropped the front tire off of the rock, and it hit the rocker tube in front of the front tire, or behind the front tire, and kind of like right here on the chassis, and it spun the truck, and I hit both sides of the gate. So if I wouldn't have done that, if I would have just done what I wanted to begin with, I would have won the day, because that was that was less than the difference in points at the end of the day was less than me hitting that gate. So yeah, once you make your mind up about something, just do it. Don't be changing your mind. Have an extra class 2 if you need it, high low. I mean, I've got enough stuff to build 2 trucks. I just don't know if I want to build 2 trucks in the next couple of weeks. I'm already going to be building a pro mod for the WeRock stuff. I don't know that I really want to build 3 trucks in the next 3 weeks. That sounds expensive. Jake, how's it going? Jake is in here. It's been warm up here. It has been warm up here. So I looked at the weather this morning, and the next 10 days are mid to upper 80s, no clouds, and 0% chance of rain for the next 10 days. So, and it's been that for the last 5 or 6 days also.
Not bad.
Tim says, I honestly feel I do better running early. I can psych myself out watching others.
That is actually true.
Yeah, I tend to go either mid-pack or like it. I just go to whatever has the least line. I guess I don't really care where in the pack I go, but I do like to watch at least 2 to 3 people run all the gates.
I guess.
Or if you see that if you see that people who maybe aren't going to win at nationals timing out or pointing out at gate 8, let's say they're timing out at gate 8, you watch where they're dilly-dallying around, watch where they're wasting a bunch of time, and that's where you winch through it. Don't sit there and screw around on a gate and waste 2 minutes at one gate. Winch through that sucker and keep going, because if you don't finish the course, what was the point in clearing that gate without winching? Just winch it and go.
Yeah, it's funny because Tim at Apex would just run all the courses first thing, whereas like me and Jake, we're just kind of hanging out and then run a course, and then both of them were in finals. So every driver is different. Whatever's comfortable, just know what you're like. What Tim says, if something's gonna psych you out, then or give you like bad ideas on what lines to take.
Give you bad juju.
Then,
JP, this is how normally when we're at Crawlapalooza, we'll gang up and we'll run 8 or 9 trucks in a row as a group. And, there was one year I was pretty much the first, I ran it first pretty much every time, and then I winch sticked for every single person in the group. So by the end, we all have similar trucks, and they're all built with similar parts, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what each guy's truck's going to do. So having the same winch guy, you can point, hey, Jake went over here and it climbed right up, where Wes was over here and it kind of hopped a little bit, stay to the driver's side or whatever. So having a group run together and have one winch stick guy that remembers the course, because you can absolutely forget where you're going. But if you have the same stick guy run for 4 or 5 guys, 4 or 5 trucks, that spotter should know exactly where the course goes.
Yep. Jake, he does like watching. I'm not going to give any more context because it's funnier that way.
He likes to watch. That's great. Well, so far, my computer has not been a screaming goat tonight, so that's a positive.
You beat it before the live?
No, so it did that last Monday, and it did it on Tuesday when I was running the router. Even after I did take a blowgun and blow a bunch of air into it, and an unhealthy amount of dust did come out of it. But it still made that noise for the rest of the day. But it hasn't done it since. So
nice. She's a bit dusty. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully that fixed it. I don't know. There was a pretty good amount of dust in there. DR Custom Wiring, how's it going, buddy? I was hoping to see you out at one of the We Rock events, but I think I'm going to have to come to a regular Class 1 or 2 event to see you down there at Abner, huh? I think you go there, don't you, Dustin? Anyway, yeah, it was a good weekend. Good fun. There's a small group of 5 of us that all run together generally, judge each other, and winch stick for each other. So the only thing I don't like it when buddies judge for each other. I would honestly prefer that their most hated enemy judge for them, because I've seen firsthand at high-level comps reverses not get written down, or times get written down differently than what they actually were, or letting things slide, knocking rocks out of the way with the winch stick, or knocking rocks into somewhere with the winch stick.
I'm laughing, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
Also,
and then,
when some of these comps come down to tied time or tied points, so that they come off of time, like that
Yep.
little turn to blind eye reverse, man, that could mean the difference, dude. Um,
Yep.
if I was in a final situation, that would be a big deal for me. But I normally
Yep.
don't care.
One thing I will say that they do at Abner during the comps down there, they have a they have one person scoring, and they have one person with the timer.
That's that's how finals is, but that
So
means they have a good
because
amount of volunteer judges.
well, there's only 15 people down there, so
Uh, kind of nice.
but so because the reason I say I like that is because we've seen this many times. I've seen it more times than I care to say that it was happening. But what will happen is when you have a judge who is timing and scoring, when a driver who's a little less on the up and up gets into a predicament where they might fuzz a gate or they might want to take a quick little reverse, they'll ask the judge how much time they have left. And when the judge looks down at the timer to see how much time they have left, they'll bump the gate or they'll take a quick little reverse. Um, so doing things the way they're doing them down there with one person having the time and one person scoring, you have two eyes watching the course, you have two eyes watching for four eyes watching the course, four watching for reverses, gates, everything. So you're not going to get away with the dumb shit that happens at nationals and things like that.
And then on the other hand, man, like the person that does that, we're talking about little trucks, dude.
Yeah.
If that's how you treat like a hobby you love, I can't imagine how shitty you run your day job that you hate to go to.
Yeah.
The sandwiches you make at the sandwich shop, dude. I can't.
Yeah. Yep. We judge each other for two reasons. One, the guy behind the driver has to judge, and so on and so forth. We've had issues with judges not paying attention and not writing down bonuses or reverses. So another thing that I'm not super cool with is like people who aren't familiar with judging or scoring or familiar with the layout of that particular comp's score sheet can write things down wrong on accident and not even realize they did it. And, making sure your score is correct before you sign it and take a picture can only go so far because, dude, I don't know. Like, I might have hit 2 gates, I might have hit 3 gates. I don't keep track in my head of how many reverses I had or whatever on course. So maybe I need to pay a little bit more attention to that because I have felt a couple of times that I'm like, man, I thought I did better than that, but all right. So having somebody who knows how to score is pretty important, and just having every person judge, every person ends up with a score sheet in their hands. I think you're muddying the waters for incorrect scores.
I do like. I kind of run like how Tom is talking about here, calling out your own reverse and gate and stuff, because that keeps you honest.
Well, it does, and it's we're playing for bowling trophies. If you even get a trophy, but it goes back to just being an honest person too. Like, I've always called out my own gates and reverses. Like if I hit a gate, I'm just gonna say gate. If I have a reverse, or if I'm gonna take a reverse, I'll even call out, hey, I'm taking a reverse, or hey, I'm winching. So even if the judge isn't paying the best of attention, I said it. If he doesn't write it down, that's not my problem. I said it. I don't pause time and go, did you get that? Did you get that reverse? I don't give a shit. But
Yeah.
make sure your score is right. Make sure you take a picture of it. Absolutely, because they still have to manually tabulate or manually enter these scores somewhere.
So yeah, you have 10 pieces of paper with so many scores in a hand passing on to the next set of hands that tabulate that in a computer. So you have like 3 potential human errors right off the rip. um, so anyway,
You
stop
know,
taking shit so seriously. Have
yeah, that's
fun.
bottom. That's the end
Have
of it too.
fun, you
Yeah.
freaking nerds. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
I'm not a comp guy, with a few I've done that. I've learned from Tim Samuels, so it's kind of hard coming from the guy who makes the rules. Well, yeah. Um, that's another huge thing, though, is knowing the rules, knowing the way the course should work. Um, for instance, this past yesterday, um, one guy, that bonus gate that I talked about not making it up during the run, but making it up 4 times after. One guy thought that he was going to go up and just take one side of the gate. Well, like Hibner called it out, but basically the way he came into the gate to take the gate, he came in backwards. He drove the truck forwards the wrong way through a gate to get progress on a bonus gate. You can't do that. But in the spur of the moment, he thought, I'll just run through this real quick and hit this gate and get my progress, not thinking about the fact that he drove the wrong way into it. So you have to know the rule book. You have to know how it's supposed to go, because he ended up costing himself 10 points instead of getting the bonus. Well, he would have netted a positive, or he would have netted it a -5, but instead he got a +10 because he went the wrong way through it, the way their scores worked. So you gotta think about that stuff too. It becomes a memory game of what you can and can't do, and what's smarter to do than something else. Just like when you're building the truck too, like, there's no reason that any truck should have a roof rack on it anymore at this point. And there's really not even a reason for a Sorca truck to have metal sliders on them anymore at this point either. Like, you can point out Lexan bodies in Class 1 without a roof rack or sliders. So, like, don't add the unnecessary weight in unnecessary places. I like your SEMA shirt.
This thing is old as dirt, dude.
The four-wheel jamboree was in Indy this weekend, so on my way home I saw a bunch of cool shit on trailers. This week, tomorrow, the Hot Rod Drag Week is going on right now. They're in like western Indiana right now. And they're going to Indianapolis. They race in Indianapolis tomorrow, and then on Wednesday they race up in Martin, Michigan. But their checkpoint between Indy and Martin is about 10 minutes from here. So I might bounce out of here after work and go over and watch the Drag Week guys come through.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Trailer Queens and all that stuff sees the trail. I don't disagree with you, but there was a couple of really, really, really good looking Broncos and Scouts on trailers. Like expensive builds. 2 to 2.5 hours for me. Yeah, to get to Abner, it's 2.5 for me. It's about 2 hours for Josh. Josh has to remember there's a time change.
So it's like an hour for him, right?
To go home, it's an hour. To get there, it's more. Broncos only look good lifted. They were all lifted, yeah.
I don't know, man. When you talk about the older, new ones,
old ones.
I see some nice examples down here.
Most of the ones up here you can see through. So
Yeah. I'm not talking about the OJ one. I'm talking about like the
no.
old. Yeah.
Yeah, new style. I agree. The newer ones look better lifted. Look better lifted also.
Same as the Gladiator. I saw like a bone stock off the lot Gladiator. Oh my god, what are they thinking with this?
I think every Gladiator should have come with 1 tons and 40s and a bobbed bed.
I know. Oh man.
Uh, in my area is the James Dean and Ducktail car show this coming weekend. There will be close to 5,000 cars. Nice.
That's a lot of cars, dude. I'd be there all day, man. Just walking around. I'd probably make 2 laps.
Yeah.
If there's food and coffee and stuff, oh yeah. Making multiple laps.
Yeah. Lucas Klein and Carl Klein were at the Four Wheel Parts Jamboree, and they said it sucked. They were only there for like an hour, and then they came to Abner. They came to the comp to just see. They'd never been there and wanted to see what it was about. They're normally a vendor at the Four Wheel Parts show, and they just didn't do it. Didn't do it this year, and they said it. Then they went down just to watch, and they said it sucked. Because gladiators are made to haul things, yeah, like ducks. Two different shows in 2 towns that are 15-ish miles apart. I've heard of the James Dean show. I've never heard of the Ducktail. All the cool kids were at Abner. I knew I should have went. I don't know about all the cool kids. I don't know about cool kids at all, but I think there was probably 15 people there. 15. There was less than 20 people there total. So Bluetooth drive lines galore. Yeah, it's not SEMA. Local car shows this weekend too. About 2,500 cars on average. We don't do car shows around here anymore. They just drag race out by Tire Rack. People call the cops on them all the time.
Dude, Coda, the F1 track, they have like a Cars and Coffee. Man, it's cool to go like once, but man, you walk by like cars that like are pretty like cringy, and then there's some cool cars, and then there's like people standing around those cars just all talking shit, and I'm like, this ain't the car community, dude. I don't know. I'm not in on like the local F1 track, Cars and Coffee. It's a bunch of young people with like, they just go there to shit on everyone's car. not not literally, but they just talk. And I'm like, dude, I don't think any of those people there are actually enthusiasts.
Yeah, there's a Cars and Coffee at one of the local detail shops around here every now and then. I think they do it like once a month, but I've only ever gone there once. And there's a couple Lamborghinis, a couple McLarens, and a bunch of really nice, muscle cars, hot rods, things like that. Cars these guys detail. The number of people that are walking around like, oh, look at that McLaren, like, oh, I'd never buy that car. Bitch, you can't afford to buy that car.
Yeah.
Like,
that's something the poor people would say. Those are poor people comments.
Get back in your Honda and leave.
Yeah, go back to your. Well, yeah.
Get back in your Civic and go. Bye.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like social media has just trained people to like just talk shit and not really appreciate other people's hard work. So that's now what that's what they're now doing in their everyday life, and it's actually pretty sad when you think about it.
Yeah. Car shows these days don't compare to 2000s era car shows. Hot rods are cool, but import scene is not what the 2000s. No builds, just wheels and slammed. And there's no more freaking bikini girls walking around either.
Dude, also, I heard something. I heard someone say something like a couple weeks ago, and it stuck with me. People who talk about the stage of tune they have on their car, that means they don't know nothing about cars.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got a
It's a
stage four
stage
tune.
2.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about, dude?
Yeah.
I got a stage 4 tune. What is that? Give me details, and don't give me a receipt. Tell me what
Yeah.
is done to this.
Yeah. How
So
much of it
just,
did you do?
That just means you took it to a shop. Whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
Robert, it
That's
was
my
nice
only
meeting you
gripe.
yesterday also. Yeah. Robert was there. He was part of the Jimmy's Build Along. He had his out there for the first time. Drove it for the first time out there. Pretty cool. The pours are strange at car. The pours are strong at events. Yes, they are.
Dude,
They're strange too, but
they park like 7 parking lots over just so no one actually sees what they roll up in.
Rednecks with Paychecks is this weekend outside Fort Worth. Now that's a party. That's not a show. That's a party.
Hey, the one time I do believe I got the vid, my buddy went to that event, and that was the strand that like I still can't quite smell the same since. That was some super strand.
Hmm.
Like
I put a
car
stage
exhaust,
one.
can't smell it. It's wild.
I put a stage 1 Garrett turbo on my Duramax. Now it sounds like a 6.0 Ford. I mean, looks like import models miss those days. Yeah, for sure. Looks like crazy party for yeah. It is 100% a party. It is a whole weekend of debauchery that I'm not sure anybody is actually prepared for when they get there. Told you not to be kissing your homies. Oh
I don't
man.
live in Kentucky, Josh. Now we're gonna get messages.
Yeah. Demonetized. Oh man. So I got to drive the buggy with these new shocks through gates and stuff, and they are breaking in a little better. It's
The
still
shock.
like, yeah, it's still like really stiff on the extension. Compression is pretty good, but like they're very, very, very stiff to extend. Like I can pick it up and like shake it down, but they're not like in a bind at all.
That's probably pretty good for so you don't need like um an anti-roll bar or anything like that.
Yeah, I can't say that I don't like it because like my Sorka comp trucks, I always really liked a slower shock.
Yeah,
So like it is a slower shock, but
but
it's a different driving style. I was telling Josh at the event, it's like going from a shock with a spring on it to a shock like this that's pretty much at full bump. When you get like the rear tires to a ledge, you can't like bounce the ledge. You can't give it a bump and bounce up the ledge. With a traditional shock or with a little bit more compression travel, when you hit the ledge, the shock spring compresses and the truck will drive over it. These just bounce off. It doesn't like go up. It just unsettles the truck and bounces it straight back. Thankfully, it has always gone straight back. It hasn't bounced like crazy sideways, but it's a different thing. You can't really. I haven't been able to get this to like bump up a ledge. It's almost like you're just smashing straight to the skid plate, but you're not hitting the skid plate.
now that slow droop, does that? I mean, that might equate for the axle equally, but is it like corner tuned to where when you push up on one, the other side does come down.
Yeah.
See, like people that send pictures of trucks that say they're ready to go and there's no weight, no body, no nothing on the truck. I'm like, that truck's not set up at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. When you pick up this one side, it's got about, I don't know, eight 5 to 8 millimeters of up travel,
Mhm.
and then the other side extends. So like all of your travel is on the other side, really. Also, it's flat belly. It's there's no angled skid and no rear bent links, so you don't have any extra clearance from the A pillar back. It's a flat line, so it's like that's taken some getting used to also. RC Fabricator checking in late. What did I miss? You missed Wesley talking about how he got herpes from his buddy.
I don't think you're listening. I think you have a different podcast going on in your headphones. I'm not,
Yeah.
don't quite remember that being said whatsoever.
No,
Interpretation is
we've.
different for the
Yeah.
Midwesterns, I guess, tonight.
I don't know why my hood latch feels very very loose now for some reason. Like I don't really have to fiddle with it to get it to open now. So I'm wondering if it is cracked, but it was cracked prior. So I don't know what's going on here now.
Have you printed that out on the fancy printer?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I printed 3 extras to take with me because I've broken one of these previously. It's got like a hook area. Yeah, you can see it.
I see it now.
That goes underneath the flat part of the dash, and then it clips
See,
the front.
you wouldn't have that cracking if you got that new Bamboo Labs PPA CF. PPA CHF PH.
I'm curious. I'm curious how much that costs per roll.
I think it was like 49. Don't quote
I'm gonna
me.
look. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look it up. Filaments.
Because you can do spur gears now. I've seen.
Yeah, I saw that. PPA CF is $100 a roll from Bamboo
No,
on sale.
What was I talking about? 49. Was it the PLACF?
PLACF is 49. Yeah.
Okay. That's probably the one I was actually looking at buying.
Yeah, the PPACF, which is what Matt used for that spur gear, on sale is $99.99. Retail is $150 a roll. $150 a roll.
So, man, you better have the X1 carbon, because if that thing starts to spaghetti, it better shut down, dude.
Yeah.
That thing better be.
Yeah. You're not printing. That's not the first print to test fit something.
No. That's, hey, I might send this to a customer.
Yeah. You guys and your fancy printer while I'm still rocking an Ender 3 version 1. I have an Ender 3 version 1, and I just bought the Bamboo, was that 2 months ago probably?
No fancy printer here. Although, I am tempted.
I'll tell you what.
I'm not
going from that Ender.
One, though. I think I'm going to
get I got the P1S.
I think I'm going to get the P1. So I can send
Yeah.
my team drivers nicely printed stuff, not kind of distorted chunks of plastic with drilled holes in it.
Is Theron still in here? I might get up for a second. I'm getting up. The
Hurry up! I just finished
PLA
my water.
the
Yeah,
PLA CF printed at like a 0.16 layer height is like the smoothest freaking print I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
Why don't you focus?
Man, you're gonna
Like you
make me order
can't
that thing tonight, dude.
you can't see or feel layer lines in this.
Looks good.
So this was printed like this. So you would see every layer line on an ender. And
Right.
this thing is just
And if I know you, how you are with 3D printers, you just put it in there and hit print. You didn't fine tune the nozzle or the speed.
no, dude, I turned it all the way up. I printed this at 500 millimeters a second. I ain't got time to wait for that shit. 500 millimeters a second, and it's smooth as shit.
Well, I haven't felt shit before. I'll just take your word on that.
Dude, this is and like I'm gonna try to break the other one because I printed one in a different setting.
Throw it on the ground. Throw
Yeah.
it on the ground.
I printed one in a different orientation that it had you could see the layer lines in the handle, like in the finger area. It was a little rougher, so I was like, I don't like that. So I changed the orientation. But I don't know. Ugh, golly. And that's at 15%. Like, that took a lot of force to.
You're super strong. You made it look easy, Brett.
Dude, that's not easy at all.
You've been hitting the gym, dude. I can tell.
Yeah. That's nuts. So, but anyway, I am not going to be. Ooh, I'm bleeding. I'm not going to be ordering PPA CF anytime soon. I'll DM you a pic. It's massive, but it was clean. Oh, so hold on. I missed your first. I missed your first
Wow.
message. I was like, what is going on?
Please don't. Please stop what you're doing. Unsend.
Yeah, my crawling buddy just printed a cool Russia truck that he brought crawling this weekend. Built on an SCX Gladiator chassis.
Hercules.
Yeah. I'm going to have to break down and buy a printer eventually. I think Matt and I are going to tag team the Pro Mod build. I can't wait for the Pro Mod build. I found an Ohmtech laser, but convinced myself I don't have a need for that machine, mainly for cutting charged case decks. Lasers are cool. I want one, but I can't. I don't know that I can justify the surface area they require for the amount I would use it. Evening, fellas. Just got home. Just got home from work, I hope. Tristan loves you.
I think Jake logged in on YouTube.
Must have. Yeah. Did I accidentally ban Jake again?
You hit Jake, not Josh.
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to ban Josh this time. Wife's birthday dinner. Huh. Hope you bought her something fancy. Like Taco Bell.
Dude, I made a grave mistake. Friday night, went to the Taco Bell like a half mile down the road. It's by a pretty bougie like high school. That is where all the kids hang out. I was so annoyed. and their drive-through is closed, so I had to go on the inside. It was pretty miserable.
Did you
If I
shake your
wasn't,
finger at him?
if I, if I wasn't super hungry and I didn't already drive my friend there, I would have left.
Yeah.
But
He's
there's a
driving,
bar
just
in
sharing
this
the
city.
love. Oh. Prime 47, downtown Indy. That sounds like a steakhouse, and that sounds like delicious.
What's
I've
funny
only
is
been to a. Go ahead.
down here, nobody talks about a Ruth's Chris, but in South Bend, that's the high end spot.
I've never been to Ruth's Chris.
Well,
I don't.
you park
don't think
with the
I'm.
Poors at the car shows.
I do. I do. I don't think I'm. I don't think I'm missing much though. If I had to bet, West Old Man is showing.
Hey man, it's getting to be that.
Much better than Ruth Chris. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've never been there, but I can't imagine that it's like the best steak you've ever had at Ruth Chris. So
It can't
anyway,
be that
we got.
good if they're all across the country.
Yeah, it can't be that exclusive. Down a couple minutes left before 9 here. It's been a long day for me, but if you guys want to, you guys got something good to talk about, we'll talk about something good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my
what's
wife
next?
my wife and her girls at work decided they want to play Dungeons and Dragons. So that led to them all designing their own custom characters and stuff. And that also led to me having to print these fucking things on my
I knew
resin
right
printer.
where that was going. Yep. Gotcha.
So my resin printer is hopefully printing the last 2 of these fucking things that I've been printing for a week.
That one was in the shape of a male member, the one you were showing me
Yeah,
before we left.
yeah. I printed that in TPU.
Yeah, don't DM me the pictures of those characters.
The House of Prime Rib and SF is the best, hands down.
House of Prime. Are there dragons?
Hope so.
There better be. Dragon spine. That's what I'm ordering.
The owner of a local gentleman's club owns cattle, and they have good cheap steaks.
Cheap steak. Yes, that's usually my excuse too. They have a good lunch steak deal.
They got lunch. They got a good lunch special down there at the Hideaway.
That was that may have been a thing once or twice when I worked further south.
Hey, I've
Hey,
eaten
I wasn't
breakfast.
driving, dude. I wasn't driving.
I've
just
eaten
got
breakfast
talked
at
into.
1. Ate breakfast at 1 in Fort Wayne.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
What was on the menu?
Yeah, there was tater tots and scrambled eggs and bacon and all kinds of stuff. Dude, swear to God. It was a buffet. They had a shower in the corner. The girls were showering in the corner.
Oh man,
Yeah, that was an
What a-
interesting night.
what a time!
Yeah.
My coworker, we have that. We have strip club breakfast, and then I texted my coworker earlier, and I was like, "Hey, dude, you left, and your truck is on." And then he texted me back, "It should be off now. I turned it off on the app." I'm like, "All right,
Okay.
okay. I guess we can just do that now."
Yeah.
Fantastic! Wow.
Fucking things translate to yes, dear. I'll gladly print these for you and your friends for free, and by Wednesday. Oh man.
Ew.
They have a walk-up
Flat
window
says
so you don't have to pay the
clams.
door charge for the lunch. Clams.
Flat says clams. I I don't know if it's. I think I have an idea of what conversation he's talking about.
They named the one. They named one the library out here, so you can say we're going to the library and not tip off anybody.
Nice, smart, clever marketing.
How many curly
There's
hairs
also-
did you find in your breakfast?
Oh no, 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 no.
That was a long night, dude. That was a
It
long
was
night.
so
I still
long that we
have
stayed to order breakfast. That's how
I
late
still
we
have a
stayed.
coffee mug. Still have a coffee mug from the Liberty Cafe in Fort Wayne, which our hotel was right behind. So we ate. Well, a couple of people ate at the Gentlemen's Club, and the rest of us on our walk, our like multi-mile walk back to the hotel, because there were no Ubers and Lyfts back then, and
Back
all
in
the
my
taxis,
day.
yeah, all the taxis were done for the day, night, whatever. We had to walk back to our hotel, so we stopped at the Liberty Cafe and got breakfast, second breakfast, and I still have the coffee mug. So, hey, remember I'm in Portland. More clubs per capita than any other city. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good way to end the night.
How many clubs were you at?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get out of here and go home and shower up and come back tomorrow and cut chassis, and I got to work on some skid plates. I got to do skid plates.
I emailed you some files.
I saw them. I haven't opened them, but
I'm pointing because that's the old man thing to do.
yeah. I've ate at the Liberty Cafe. Yeah, good place. Nice place. Good breakfast.
We're not endorsed or sponsored by Liberty Cafe.
Yeah. Not sponsored, not sponsored. Don't tell them I have one of their cups.
Alrighty.
All right, get out of here. We'll see you next Monday. It should be good for next Monday, I think. So,
Yep, I'll try to survive the week.
right on. All right, we'll see everybody on the next one.
Take it easy, everybody.